Well, good evening. Can you believe it? We made it to seminar 5 or session 5. I'm so excited about that. It's been so crazy because I had this dream in May. And I remember sitting on the camp meeting when I was at camp meeting in the little RV while Theo was sleeping and it was dark and I was penciling this in and I had this dream that I was going to do this fasting seminar. And the Lord is so good because He loves to make our dreams come true, doesn't He? So I just appreciate everybody that has shown up and everybody that's online. My friend Debbie came from Firebaugh today to surprise me. She's been watching all the different videos and giving me encouragement, and here she is today. And so it just feels so good to be here. We're going to follow kind of the same format that we've been following. We're going to talk a little bit and go through our program, and then I have my final interview with Dwayne, my new friend, and I'm very excited about that. But before we begin, let's start with a word of prayer. Lord, we love you, and we just thank you so much. Thank you for helping make my dream come true, Lord, and I just pray that you'll be with us tonight. Open our hearts and our ears to hear what you have for us, and we pray for a blessing. In your name, amen. Well, with the first two, I opened up with a story, and last week I did my favorite verse, and this week I'm going to do another verse. We're going to do Isaiah 40:31. For they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And the song will say, teach me, Lord, to wait. The Lord really wants us to wait on Him. And He promises us that He wants us to run without being weary and walk without faint. He wants us to be healthy. It's just that simple. And don't you want to be healthy too? Doesn't it feel good to be healthy? I think most of us here have been doing this for almost our 28 days, if not more. And we are starting to learn the benefits. I'm sharing it with people at work and different places. And we just keep praying and praying that God will use this. A health seminar wouldn't be a health seminar, though, if we didn't talk about exercise, right? We had to hit that E word, and we're going to talk about getting moving. But I want to explain something to you first. With this Fast Feast and Repeat book, I loved this book, but I've been reading a lot of other books on fasting. And the one that I love also is Life in the Fasting Lane by Dr. Jason Fung. And the two women that helped write that book for him, they were women that were very successful in every other area of their life except for their weight. And they were both over 300 pounds and really struggled. But like the one lady said, she exercised all the time. She was always walking and moving, and she did these walking things. She even walked 56 miles in 3 days one time. And what she's going to tell you is that exercise is great for health, but exercise isn't going to help us really lose weight. It's really our diet and how we eat is how the weight is. But God also wants us to be healthy. And so I know that exercise helps so much. So we're going to get moving with our fast-fueled fitness. So people are going to always ask you or ask me, what's the best type of exercise to do, Cathy? Should I do strength training? Should I do cardiovascular? Should I do yoga, Pilates, whatever it is that you want to do? And we're going to say any type of exercise that you enjoy and will do regularly. That's the type of exercise to do. I love to get up first thing in the morning. I ride my exercise bike and I pray or I practice my seminar or I do something. And so I combine my quiet time with my exercise. I love to ride my exercise bike. It's my favorite thing to do. I really do love doing it. Now, not everybody loves the exercise bike, so I don't expect other people to do it, but I want you to do something that you love. Now, Dan told me that I could tell this story, so it's kind of a fun story. His mom we stay at his mom's house once or twice a week, and he wanted me to stay a few weeks ago at his mom's house, and I told him no, I couldn't do it because I didn't have an exercise bike at his mom's house. And the exercise bike was too important for me. And I told the Lord that morning, it was a Sunday morning, and I said, God, I need an exercise bike at Doris's house. And I just, could you help? And so we had gotten invited to the fundraiser that Julie had. We got to sit at her table, and whenever we get to sit at Julie's table or somebody pays for a table, I always try to do the silent auction. And I told Dan, I said, I don't know what God wants me to bid on the silent auction, but I'll take my checkbook and we'll see. Well, when I got to the fundraising event, I walked in and I swear that the angels sang and the sun came out because there was my exercise bike. Oh my goodness. I just thought, oh, Daddy, there's the exercise bike. And boy, I walked right over and he told me, he says, Cathy, I'll help you if you need to. And we'll make sure we get that bike. And so I did the first bid on it. And then I sat at the table and I just kept waiting to see if anybody was going to bid me up. And not a soul did. I tell you, that bike was mine. And I got so excited about it. And I told Dan, I said, it'll be easy, honey. We'll just take it home. And he has a Mustang. So you just have to put the top down and then we'll drive it home in the back seat. No problem. And he was a little bit skeptical, but he said he went to go get it. And I was feeling very confident until I walked over to the bike. You see, it was a spin bike. The one I have at home is very cheap, and you could lift that one up. I went to lift up the spin bike, and I couldn't. And I thought, oh, no. And so Frank came over and Ellie came over and they said, do you need help? And I thought, oh, I'm going to need more than just help on this one. So he gets the bike out and Dan backs up. And then he was like, oh, no, because the bike didn't exactly fit into the back seat with his leather, things. No, and it had to be turned over upside down. It was kind of precariously perched as we drove home in the cold. Dan was not the most happy camper in the whole entire world. And I told the Lord, I said, I know that this was a gift from you, but I don't think he looks too happy about it. But then he told me last night, the Lord made sure he had a lot of good energy going because it took 3 men to put that bike in the back. And poor Dan had to take it out all by himself. But the good news is we can stay at Doris's now, because I have an exercise bike and I have been riding it and I am very happy with it. So, and then I don't think Dan minded too much because he knows that I really do get on my bike every single morning and I love that time of exercise and time with God. So find something that you love to do, and if you're doing that, that's going to help. Is there a best time to work out? People ask these questions and I always tell you, yes, the best time to work out is whenever it fits into your schedule. I love mornings. I love to get up in the morning, get all sweaty, take my shower, and then after that, I'm done. Now, my daughter-in-law, she likes to work out at nighttime. She doesn't want to get up first thing in the morning, and so she works out then. Some people work out during the day. Some go to the gym. Some do whatever. But the key here is just do what works. Just make it fun, have fun, do it, and then that way it's not a chore. Like I said, I wake up in the morning and love to be on my bike. So they're going to ask you too, can I work out in a fasted state? Well, Cathy, they always tell me that you need to eat this or eat that to get energy to work out. And so can you work out in a fasted state? And I'm going to say yes. We know that fasting ignites our fat-burning superpower. So this helps us to tap into our fat stores. So it does work out well. You don't want, if you eat something first and you work out, what are you burning? You're going to burn the food that you just ate, right? So you want to, you can work out after you've eaten too. Like I said, there's nothing better than having a lot of good lunch and then going for a walk. But like I said, in the morning, I like to work out when I first wake up, and I'm working out in the fasted state. Now, I didn't used to work out in the fasted state, though. I used to have my delicious coffee with cream and Splenda that I would sip while I was working out. So now I actually work out in a fasted state. So it's good to do that, and it can't hurt. And like I said, we want our fasting to help, do our fat-burning superpowers. So like I said, I don't think anybody ever has a problem with that. And then, if you feel a little weak or something, then you can stop. But like I said, I have found that I have a lot more energy when I'm in a fasted state. What about workout supplements? Cathy, they They have pre-workouts, they have post-workouts, they have workouts here, workouts there. I remember going, it was years ago when I would used to go to the gym, and the little gal had some pre-workout supplements, and she told me, she says, I think these are maybe a little too strong for somebody your age. And you can imagine how I liked that. Somebody my age, I said, what? I grew up in the 80s. I used to take pre-workout supplements. I know how to do this. So $40 later, I bought her supplements because somebody my age could handle those supplements. And oh my goodness, I couldn't. They were the worst. My hair just zoo, and I just thought, this is too much for me. And so you know what happened? I just blew $40, right? Workout supplements, what I have found is that you can convince me to buy anything. If it says it'll help me lose weight or if it will help me work out, I will buy it. And then it doesn't work and it sits on my shelf, and I end up just blowing the money. MCT oil. I know Julie, she and I decided we could write books about how many diets we've been on and how many supplements we've bought and how much money, because we just believe all of it. But what about workout supplements? No, we don't need workout supplements. You know why? Because fasting is free. Every time they're trying to sell us something, the MCT oil or this or that or whatever, they're there to make us money. And you know what God wants to do? Make us healthy. And He wants to do it free. He set up our bodies so that we will work well. So don't buy into it. And like I said, I end up still, even after all these months, finding myself looking, thinking, well, maybe this could help or maybe that could help. And the Lord's like, Cathy, just settle down. You've found what's working for you. Go with that. So fasting is free. So don't get caught up in buying the pills, the supplements, the posts, whatever, because what we've got right now is working for us, and it's going to keep working because that's how God designed us. Just as you can overfast, you can overwork out. Sometimes less is more. Now, I look out here, and my little daughter-in-law is the young one here, but the rest of us, I wouldn't say we were older, but I would say we'd been around a little bit longer than some of the other people. And what I am saying is that, yes, if you're in really, 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 really good shape, run the marathon, but you don't have to be in shape to run a marathon. You know what I'm saying? You can do just fine by riding your bike, walking, hiking with your kids, running around. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. If you want to be, that's okay too. But what I'm saying is that don't go too crazy. We all know people who have got that gym membership and they go for the first couple weeks, and then pretty soon they're like this because they can't walk and they can't move. And we don't want that either. We want you to be nice and healthy. We want you to be fasted. We want you to be working out. I have found, like I said, I have so much more energy now. I run around with the grandkids. Grammy, chase me. And there I am running like a crazy woman, chasing Theo and enjoying life. That's what God wants us to do. I mean, if you want to do a marathon or something like that, okay, but we don't have to do it to be healthy. How to adjust and adapt if weight loss is too slow or you're at a plateau. All right, so we've talked about our exercise and moving, and so it's good to get healthy now that we're at this point. But Cathy, I've been doing this for 28 days, and I haven't noticed anything happening. Have any of you felt like that? Have any of you said, I don't know, wait a minute, I don't know if this is working out for me, Cathy. I've been doing this. And if weight loss is too slow, or if you've reached a plateau, that's okay. This is not a sprint, like my brother said in his thing. It's a marathon, and this isn't a diet. It's a lifestyle. So if you find that you're at a plateau, and on any diet, you end up with a plateau, don't you? I want you to be okay with that. And if weight loss is too slow or there's a plateau, we remember that it's important to consider one thing. Intermittent fasting might not be working for weight loss for you right now, but that does not mean it's not working for health benefits. I know we've talked about this on the last 4 seminars, and we're going to keep reiterating this, that this is a healthy lifestyle with a side effect of weight loss, yes. But the other things and health benefits that we have are what are so amazing. I a lot of times clean teeth. I had a lady today, and she was asking me. She says, "Are you still doing that fasting?" And I haven't seen her for 6 months, so yes, I'm still doing it, and I don't look quite the same in my scrubs. And it was interesting because she's thin, and she tells me, "Well, are there other benefits besides weight loss?" And I said, "Oh, definitely there are." And I told her about my blood pressure. I told her about my hair. I told her about the skin tags. I told her about the snoring. I told her about all the different things that have changed in my life and made me feel better. And we know that the health benefits are there. And so just hang on. Even though there's a little plateau or there's things, my daughter and I talked about this last week. Sometimes we don't see the results in the scales, but we see the pictures, they look good. Or we see our complexion, our skin looks good, we feel good. There are so many other things that we're looking for, not just the weight loss. So, when is it time to start tweaking your fast? Okay, so if you're at a plateau and you're not feeling like you're making any progress, then we've talked about this, but we're going to go over it one more time. You can start tweaking it, start changing things up. So you get to start tweaking it after the 28-day fast starts. So now I know that most of us are past the 28 days. We're at 35. If you started when we started the program, you're at 35 days. And so we've gotten past that. So now we can start tweaking it. If what you're doing right now does not seem to be working for you, then change it up a little bit. You can eat more, eat less. I change the windows. And then remember that our bodies are getting used to fat burning. It's funny when you can feel your body getting used to fat burning. And remember, what are some of the signs? Your mouth gets a little dry. You feel a little different. Your body is working that. And so give yourself time. This is a lifestyle, not a diet. So, like I said, you're going to find that over, like I said, I'm 11 months in now, and some days, we talk about this, some days it's very easy, and other days it hasn't been so easy. Now, like last Wednesday, I, had my seminar on Tuesday and was feeling pretty good about everything. And then, I don't know, I was just a little anxious, a little stressed out last Wednesday, and I did pretty good. Well, I did okay. I had an egg salad sandwich, but I had some chips with it. And then I always talk about those silly donuts. Well, my mistake was I had the donut on Tuesday, but I took a donut on Wednesday. So I had the sandwich and the chips and the donut. And remember, this is a lifestyle, not a diet. But then I went to Minchie's yogurt because, I have a new job. And sometimes it's a little stressful. And that Minchie's yogurt made me feel pretty good. Then I went to my son's and I had a very nice, healthy dinner. But then we went, Ashley's laughing. Well, then we just had a scoop of ampersand's ice cream. So let's see, donut, Minchie's yogurt, ampersand, all in one day. And then I was still just I have a long drive home, and I was a little stressed out still. And I got home, and I told myself, this is a lifestyle, not a diet. So I cooked up a flour tortilla and maybe had a little Debbie's chocolate cake. Finished my window at 7:30, which was a 7.5-hour window. So what I'm saying is I may be up here talking to you and you're going, "Oh, Cathy, you look pretty good and life must be easy." No, there's days when you absolutely lose it. There's just days. And like I said, so maybe 4 desserts was not the right way to go that day. And maybe the scales were up just a tiny bit on Thursday. So I had to tweak it on Thursday. Confession is good for the soul sometimes. But I just wanted you to see that, yes, life is hard sometimes. We have those stressors. And then, let's think about it, all of us. We're heading into Thanksgiving. And I tell people, I say, I won't see you for 6 months, so happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and have a great New Year. And then we're going to celebrate Martin Luther King Day and then have chocolate for Valentine's Day. And then there's President's Day and Easter. And then I'll see you next time. And all of those are eating holidays. So, it gets a little tricky trying to make things work. I got taken to lunch yesterday. We had pizza brought to us today. So much food. So there's never going to be a time that you're not tweaking it. I hate to say. So when you do tweak things, I want you to tweak one thing at a time. Check your fast. Are you really fasting clean? I know I keep pounding this one in, but until I started fasting clean, I didn't start losing weight, and fasting was very, very hard. Like I told you, I had charcoal tablets on an empty stomach, and I was hungry the whole entire morning. So you really don't know how it is, but fasting clean makes the fast so much easier. So make sure you're fasting clean, that you didn't sneak a little something in here or there. It gets tough this time of year when it's cold season. You want a cough drop, you want those things, and sometimes you just got to do it, but that could throw you off. Now, be honest with yourself about food volume. That's why I told you about my Wednesday. Well, let's be honest. Cathy maybe had a little too much to eat on Wednesday. My food volume was a little high, and sometimes it's easy to overeat. I maybe had a little bit too much pizza today, too, and so I'm realizing that I might need to do maybe a 24-hour fast to kind of clean things up, and that's okay, but you need to think about it one thing at a time. Then examine your food quality. My egg salad sandwich was pretty good on my whole grain bread, but the chips weren't good, and the Menchie's yogurt wasn't the best, and the flour tortilla. You could go on and on and on talking about these things. So just always kind of be mindful of what you're eating, and it is hard. So you start, even in my window, I start picking at stuff, and so be careful about that. And then consider switching up your fasting regimen. Like I said, I probably ate a little too much, so maybe when I stopped eating at 5 today, I'm going to go out to dinner with my daughter-in-law tomorrow. Maybe I won't eat until we do dinner. So I'm going to kind of switch things up just to maybe get my metabolism going again, but I haven't figured that out yet. But it's always, like I said, it's kind of like a game. You're figuring out what fits where and how it fits, and so do that, and it makes it work. I went to a card thing for Janet's church on Sunday, and it was really cute because it really helps to have your friends doing the fasting with you, because I had a plan, Janet. I just knew it was at 10 o'clock, and if they offered food, it wasn't going to be time for my food. So I was going to take it to go and eat it later on. And then when we got there, we just did cards. We didn't have any food, and that was wonderful, because you don't always need to have food at every event that you go to. So that actually really saved me. And then Janet asked me later, she goes, Cathy, are you in your window yet? And I said, oh, no, not yet. And she goes, no, me neither. And so it's good to know that you can kind of fast and work with each other now that we have kind of a community going. Change the time of your windows. Sometimes you want them later, sometimes earlier. Mix them up, 4 hours, 3. I can tell you that 8 hours for me is too long of a window. I just could eat way too much in 8 hours. So I've had to shorten mine a little bit, and that's okay. You can experiment with different eating styles. Like I said, I might have to go a 24-hour one just to kind of get myself back into control. And you're always just working on it. And then you could delay your desserts or alcohol or sweet drinks. And so after my four dessert binge on Wednesday, I didn't eat a dessert on Thursday. I tried to rein it in and be mindful of some of the things. Now, don't get me wrong. We want to enjoy our desserts, but we don't need to have 4 of them all at once. And then, the thing is that I wasn't eating because I was hungry. I was eating because I was stressed out. I was eating because I'm tired. And see, that's the thing that the Lord really wants us to be mindful about, is that eating because you're stressed is not a good way to deal with things. There's other ways to deal with stress, talking to a friend, or, going to bed early, or a bubble bath, or any other way. The food doesn't really make things better. So you just learn why you're doing things, and then just delay them and see how they go. All right, so maintenance. Isn't that exciting? When you are doing this intermittent fasting, really your goal is to get to a point where you feel happy and healthy in your body, and you're at the weight that you want to be. Now, I'll be honest with you, maintenance is the most scary word in the whole thing. It's easy to lose weight, it's hard to maintain your weight loss. You understand that, how that goes? That's why they can sell us all those diet things. Julie and I know we've lost weight on every single diet that we have tried, but after 6 months or so, the weight began to creep back on because we got tired of the diet. We got tired of always watching what we ate, and maintenance is hard. But I like her little thing. Maintenance, IF, is for life. We want to do this lifestyle and have it work. I want to be able to come back in a year and say, oh, yeah, no, I'm still at the same weight. And yeah, no, working the same way. And yes, I'm having some of the same struggles. But yeah, this is working for me because I really can eat what I want to in my window if I'm careful about not overeating. So that works. So how do you know when you're in maintenance? How do you know? I'll be honest with you. I thought when I lost the first 20 pounds, that was all I was going to lose because that's all I've ever lost. I wasn't sure. And then as I kept fasting and kept working the thing, the weight still kept coming off. And so I finally got to the weight that I'm at now, and I'm happy with it. So I think it was about August that I decided that I was truly in maintenance. Oh, well, that's a little terrifying, isn't it? Because I picked the weight that I thought, I finally got to that point where people were starting to say, well, maybe you've lost a little too much or you look a little too different. You know what I mean? Everybody always has something to say to you or us. And I just think, wow, there's always, I mean, you're either too heavy or too thin or you're too this or too that. And so I really had to just kind of say, Lord, where do you want me to be? You know, what weight do you think is healthy for me? And I have gotten to this one, and I feel like I'm in maintenance now. But you're going to figure out what works best for you and your body. Like I said, when Aurelia from work was the first one to really start doing the intermittent fasting with me, and I thought it was so interesting because her nickname is Flocka, which means skinny. She's a thin gal, and I said, really, you don't need to lose any weight. Why would you do this? And she says, well, because I'm pre-diabetic and I have some cholesterol issues, and so she started to do it for her health, and so she right now is in maintenance. She's right where she wants to be, and I feel like I am too. But you're going to get to where you feel best, and only you will know when you're in maintenance. Does that make sense? Another gal at work, she's lost about 30 pounds, and she said she could lose more, but if she lost a lot more, she said she feels too thin. So she's pretty happy where she's at. So she's probably in maintenance. Does that make sense? You're going to figure out maintenance by how you feel, what the numbers are, and then when you're there, then begins the struggle of maintaining that. The other thing that she talks about, and I think is so important, is live in your goal body, not your goal weight. Most of us know that we're not going to weigh what we did in high school, although I am right now, although I was a little heavier in high school. So I don't know. Like I said, I was never the thin girl. I was always somebody who was just a little bit heavy. But I want you to see that it's not about, looking a certain way, how our society wants us to look. You want to feel good in your body. You want to go out. You want to feel good. You want to be able to chase the grandkids around. You want to be happy with how your clothes fit, how you look, how you present yourself. And you'll know when you get to that point. And so, like I said, I think I hit maintenance about August. I know at camp meeting I was still a few pounds away from where I am now. But so once you hit that maintenance, then you start to work at it. So now we keep saying this every time, but intermittent fasting is a lifestyle, not a diet. So I'm realizing that, and maintenance, then I'm going to be doing the exact same things that I do when I was losing weight. There are no magic bullets, so you don't get to all of a sudden go, well, I can eat. It is all not going to crawl back on. And so you need to be very careful about watching that. Now, the intermittent strategies that helped you lose weight will be there to help you maintain your weight. So basically, we talked about our toolbox, our fast clean, our adapt to your situations, settle into what works for you, and then tweak it. Like I said, the thing that I like about this is that this is just going to be how I always live. I'm going to try not to eat until noon. I'm going to keep within a certain window. I'm going to try to watch my food, but not always watch my food. That's what I'm going to enjoy about Thanksgiving. We have Thanksgiving about 12:30, and so it's going to fit right in with my window. I can eat a lot, and I'm planning on doing that. Like Dan said, "Are you eating like a linebacker again?" And I'm thinking, "Yeah, I think I'm probably going to." And then I'll stop by 4:30 or 5 and be completely satisfied. So I'm not going to be scared about Thanksgiving. Does that make sense? Well, we all know that. And so I'm not going to be afraid. And so I just know that while I'm in maintenance, the things that I'm teaching you has been so good for me because I just keep going back over it because I need to hear it every time. And when I think that I want to give up on this lifestyle, then I check out Life in the Fasting Lane, or I listen to other podcasts about how good fasting is for me. I remind myself that I'm burning that fat right there when I'm not eating. I'm telling myself, remember all these benefits that you're having with your health. And if I really get desperate and I want something, I take my blood pressure. And I think, best blood pressure I've had ever in my life. And this is worth it because some of my other blood pressure I could have stroked out. And I'm too young to be doing that. So those are the things that go with the things that make you feel good about what you're doing and go with that. And so, like I said, if Dan comes out and on the table is the blood pressure cuff, then you know that, I just needed a boost to remind myself that this is what's going to make me healthy. What do I do if I start to notice the weight creep back on? So, like I told you now, after my little eating binge on Wednesday, when I got on the scales, yes, it was up a couple pounds, and I didn't like that. So, what I have given myself, and it's going to just depend on you and how you like it, because not everybody wants the scale, but the scale makes me accountable. When I don't get on the scale, then next thing you know, I'm up 10 pounds, and I don't like that. So I've kind of come up with a weight that I like, and if I can stay under that, that's good. And when I start to creep over it, then I start to get back to some of the tools that I have. Do I really want to go 24 hours without eating the next day? Well, maybe not. But then I also think about the health benefits, that there's some autophagy going on, there's some fat burning, there's some other things. But the other thing that's important too is that I feel like I lose control sometimes. Wednesday, I was stressed out and I had lost control. And so sometimes when I'm watching what I eat and I'm maintaining it, I feel better up here. We talked about that last week about how important for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So I still want to feel like I have that sound mind going on. So what do we do if we start to notice it creep back on? Oh, I hate that. It should stay. Once you hit that number, it should stay there forever, shouldn't it? I mean, really, it's just so, Well, be honest with yourself. Usually we know exactly what we're doing and we can adjust accordingly. That's why I'm telling you what I did on Wednesday. I knew exactly what I was doing. And you know what? I enjoyed doing it. I'll be honest with you. I felt a little rebellious. I thought, what? This is a lifestyle. I don't want to do it. And I did. I felt like a little 3-year-old child. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then when you come down and you wake up and you go, well, that was silly. Then I'm going to adjust accordingly. But we do know what we're doing. We know when we've eaten too much. We know when we've let things slip. And the examples are longer windows. Like I said, my window was open 8 hours on Wednesday, and I can eat a lot in 8 hours. Did I have extra desserts? Well, I would say 4 was extra desserts, wouldn't you say? Yes, yeah. And, I didn't even feel bad about it. Yeah, I just kept eating, and I just thought, well, I'm just going to blow it. And then we always talk about that cream in your coffee. And I have to admit that I do drink my black coffee during my fasting time. So I haven't allowed cream back in, but I talk to a lot of people, and that cream in their coffee is one of the biggest downfalls I've ever seen. And it kind of makes me laugh that cream has so much control over us. And then the funny thing is, like Chris said last week, when I do put cream in my coffee during my eating window, it doesn't taste that delicious anymore. I mean, I just think, wow, I've gotten to where I can drink black coffee and that's okay. So just be honest with yourself and work with that because, like I said, when we start to hide in our food and our those kind of there's a shame about it. That's when we start running into trouble. And so, like I said, we need to be honest and live this life and laugh about it. Like I said, sometimes we're just funny. We're ridiculous people, but I know what's going on with me and work with that. You know, the funny thing is you can share this lifestyle without fear. Now, when I first started doing the fasting and God had asked me to do the fasting, I stayed very quiet about it because I was kind of I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes when God asks you to do something, you kind of feel like I don't know. I don't want people to think, "Oh, yeah, she's got that talking to God thing going on," and oh, she's fasting. Wow, does she think she's better than everybody else? Or I don't know. You just get this kind of weird feeling when you're, oh, well, I'm fasting. So I just wouldn't tell anybody. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just would say, I'm not eating until 2, and not a big deal until Aurelia said, well, you've lost so much weight. And what have you been doing? And I'm like, well, um, I've been doing this intermittent fasting. And then once I said intermittent fasting, it was fascinating because it's like when you start driving a blue car and then all of a sudden you notice all these blue cars around. Well, then once I talked about intermittent fasting, then other people are like, oh yeah, I'm fasting too, or I've been doing this and I've been doing that. And then it just opened up a whole new world for me. And so all of a sudden I thought, wow, I can share this without feeling bad, without being fearful. And then once I started learning that not only was I losing weight and getting healthier, so were a lot of other people, then I just thought, I've got the fountain of youth here. I can't wait to share this with just about everybody. So I want you to see that not only am I sharing this here, but I want you to share it too. Julie just asked me for some of the things from last time because she's sharing it with friends. I wait until people ask, but when they ask, I'm like, well, if you really want to know, I've got this. And let me tell you what's going on. And I'm sharing because it's actually pretty mainstream now. Intermittent fasting is now mainstream and it's backed up by science. Now, it's funny because a lot of us are Seventh-day Adventists, and we know a little old lady from the 1800s that talked about 2 meals a day and not eating in between meals. And she would tell you these things, and we'd read about them, and we'd think, oh, yeah, I know, whatever. But once we have science behind it, then all of a sudden we're getting behind it. And not only are people realizing here, like I said, turn on podcasts, you start looking at books, everybody's talking about how it is with that too much insulin, how important the fasting is, and you can see it everywhere. Like I said, it's kind of fun to be able to talk about it with other people because science is backing this up, and we are realizing that this. We talked today about somebody else who their doctor told them that they need to do intermittent fasting, that it's going to help them. So I'm happy to hear that health practitioners and other people are actually starting to recommend this to other people. The thing that's so interesting is people are looking for solutions for their health issues that don't include pills. I think we finally have gotten sick of it. There's a pill for everything. You have it for your blood pressure, your cholesterol, for this thing, your GERD, your this, that. Like Kim says, she's got to go and buy some pills for her dad, and it's so expensive. And we find out that it's just masking the problems. It's not fixing them. And so really, we're in a time now where people are like, no, I've tried that. I've tried the blood pressure pills. They're not working for me. I've tried the cholesterol medication. It's not working. And people are really open to solutions. And then, like I've talked before, once you open up about health and other things, then pretty soon you can start talking spiritual things. It's so fun because the ABC is selling the Conflict of the Ages books on discount, and I'm going to buy enough for my office and give them at Christmas because now that we're all fasting together, we're talking about God together. It's fascinating how going from our health issues actually take us into a spiritual realm. And people are looking for solutions. And I am finding that when I talk to people about things, there's a few that think I'm crazy, and I am a little crazy. But most people are at least interested, and most of you are my friends and family, and you're trying this, and we're seeing a lot of results. The results speak for themselves. Like I said, I didn't tell anybody that I was doing fasting until I'd lost 20 pounds. And then the thing is that I didn't have to tell anybody because they could tell from me. And that's one of the hardest things about weight gain and our health issues is because we wear that on the outside of us. And it really does slow us down. And so really, the results speak for themselves. And the thing that's going to be nice for me is that as I keep doing these seminars, it's going to make me want to stay thinner, right? And be maintenance, because I can't be like, well, I did it once and now I'm back off the wagon. And then I would be telling myself that, oh, see, I talk too much. But the results speak for themselves. So things that I wish that I knew. So we're at this part already. So at the end of this, the book, because like I said, we've gone through her whole entire book, she had people talk about things that they wish that they knew. And so I picked out the 15 of them, and we're going to talk about these a little bit, and then we're almost done, and I'm going to have my interview. But these are just little things that we can share with other people and things that I think are so important. What I wish I knew is you could start immediately. When we had our interview with Diane, like I said, we talked about it on a Tuesday night after Bible study driving home. And she said the next day she did a 19-hour fast. She said, I just jumped right in and did 19 hours, and she started immediately, and she hasn't stopped since. And so the fun thing about this is when we do tell other people about things, they can start today. And then that makes a big difference with everybody. We haven't talked about this as much. This is one of the ones that I got from the fasting, Life in the Fasting Lane, is that hunger comes in waves. And so it doesn't always just escalate to where you can't stand it like this today until noon. Sometimes at 10 o'clock, I still get really, really hungry. And I know it's going to escalate for a little bit, but then I know as I stay busy and I clean people's teeth and I move around, then it's going to go down. And next thing you know, I'm not hungry anymore. And so it comes in waves. So when you're feeling really hungry, just know that in 15 minutes, have your water, right, Maxine? And take a little time, keep really busy, and the next thing you know, you're not going to be hungry. It's just that we need to give ourselves a little time. And being hungry isn't bad. See, we in America have told each other that we can never be hungry. We got to eat every 2 hours, and it's got to be okay. And I'm learning that it's okay to be hungry, that I can do it, that I'm going to wait until till noon or a little bit later, and that's okay. So the other thing is pace yourself. Fasting's a muscle, and work up to it. So that's what we've been doing in these last 5 weeks is we've been pacing ourselves. We've been working up to it. Not Diane, she jumped right in, but some people can jump right in. She's a rip off the Band-Aid one. And like I said, there's times when I don't feel fasting as much and I take it slower, and there's other times I do really well. And I just work with how it works for me. This is the one I keep emphasizing, and people, I know, Cathy, we've got it. The clean fast makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. There's nothing I can keep telling you about. Like I said, I fasted for a couple months without being a clean fast, and I was hungry all the time. I was white knuckling it. And now by having the water and watching what I put into my body during the fast, it's always very doable. So always the clean fast. Like I said, I run into people, well, I don't eat this, and I add some cream to my coffee, but it's not this, and it's like, no. This is the most important thing is the clean fast. The health benefits are amazing. Like I said, I can't overemphasize. I tell everybody about my brother and his A1C down from 12 to 6. I talk about my high blood pressure. I talk about my dad and his prostate cancer and how we're looking for that to be beneficial. I talk about hair. I talk about snoring. I talk about running after my grandkids. I am thrilled with how healthy I feel. And I'm just happy to see other people having such huge results. I got a text from another lady from work. I was cleaning her teeth, and And I always kind of bring up that I've been doing this intermittent fasting thing just to kind of open the door to see if they are interested. And she says, well, I'm interested. And I said, are you sure? And she says, yes. What are you doing? And so I opened up to her, sent her the videos, and she just texted me today. And she said, hi, this is Cheryl. And I just wanted you to know I've been fasting ever since I saw you last, and I'm feeling better, and it's working. And I'm just going to check in with you now and then to let you know that this is doing well. Isn't that fun? Isn't it just great? I just tell the Lord, thank you. I always ask him every day, can I share fasting with somebody else today? Who else can I share fasting with? Because, it just ripples and ripples. And like I said, I know that as we leave tonight, and this is our last seminar, that I want you to be sharing this too. Ripple, ripple, ripples. And pretty soon, who knows? We're going to be living a healthier life together because of the fasting. What I wish I knew, I love the flexibility. That's what she was telling me too. Well, Cathy, I love it because I make it work around my schedule. I'm going to fast a little later because I'm going to eat a little later. On Friday, I ate at 11, so I stopped at 4. I just make sure that everything that I do works with my flexibility, and it just is lovely. And like I said, to me, I play it like a little game, and we make it work, and there's never a time my window's not open, but I close it sooner, or I make it work with this. Fasting is not starving. It's so funny because at first people will think, oh, I don't think I can fast. I'll be starving. And starving is when you don't get food at all. Concentration camp people are starving. They were held back from food. Fasting is making a choice not to eat for a certain amount of time. We delay, don't deny, and we're doing it as a choice. We are empowered, we are in control, and when we do eat, we know what we're doing, so we're not starving. Eating all day long does not ramp up your metabolism. Now, how often did you hear that before? Oh, Cathy, you've got to eat every 2 hours. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So I would start with my cream and my coffee. I'd have my oatmeal. I'd eat my toast. I'd have my lean cuisines. I'd have my almonds. I had this every 2 hours because I wanted my metabolism to be ramped up, and I never lost anything. Now I eat the same amount of food, just like a linebacker, in a smaller amount of time, and I'm still getting the good nutrition, but I'm not worried about my metabolism. My metabolism's doing fine. And then we've talked about this too, right, Debbie, that sometimes we're not even eating enough. And so we eat a little bit more, and then we start to lose the weight too because we're not starving to death. Our body knows that, wow, she's going to get food. She's just not getting it yet. And when we do get food, she's going to be full. Dan and I talked about this too. He says, I never thought about you never being full, Cathy. And I said, I was never full. I was always just eating a little bit, little bit, little bit. I love being full. It makes me just feel so happy. And then I'm satisfied for so long, and then I can be full again. And it's mind-blowing how in America, we, us poor women, we're always on this little teeny tiny diet, and we just eat a little bit here, a little bit there. Like I said, a lot of times I just want to lick my plate. It's just such good food. And so that is, it's empowering, isn't it? I love to do that. Delay, don't deny is a life changer. I love that with Chris last week with our interview. She was so cute because, like she said, she's been doing Weight Watchers her whole entire life, so she always counted points. And so for her to be able to have the cookies and not count the points and count the hours, it's just been so wonderful for her. And so I always think that too. I'm going to delay, not deny, but I can't have 4. So there's the thing too. So I'm learning. Trust the process and be patient. The hard thing is it took us a long time to get into this state. When I think about the fact that I have been eating little meals for 40 years, I had a lot of insulin in my body. Did I think that insulin was going to go away in 3 weeks? No. Did I think that everything was going to be changed in my body? No. It's always going to be a little bit of a struggle. It's always, but the struggle's what makes us better. It's the soft, easy life that makes us, it changes us. God wants us to struggle. He wants us to be successful. Trust the process. And he wants us to be patient. Isn't that one of the fruits of the Spirit? Patience? I hate patience. Yeah, no, I want it done yesterday. And the Lord is making me be a more patient person. The last 5. There are so many non-scale victories with intermittent fasting. Um, I have to remind myself of that. Yes, maybe I ate a little too much. Maybe my scale's up a little bit, but I still feel good. I'm happy with it. I have the tools to get the weight back to where I want it to be. And like I said, we look at all these non-scale victories, and that's really what it's all about. That's what people want to hear. Of course, we want to be a little thinner, yes, but we also want to feel better and be healthier. Um, I don't have to eat first thing in the morning. You know, the thing about breakfast is break fast. It doesn't say it has to be in the morning. You know, the people who said that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, you know who they were? Kellogg's, who was selling us breakfast cereal. People who are promoting breakfast cereals, breakfast this, breakfast that, they're the ones who came up with the slogan, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. My breakfast usually starts at noon or 1 because I have broken my fast. Maxine starts earlier and she stops earlier. But the thing that's crazy, and then really when we look at what we used to eat for breakfast, we'd have the cereal with lots of sugar and the whole milk and the orange juice and this and that, and it was a terrible way to start the day. So breakfast isn't for champions, and we can do things different. This is one of my favorite ones. Intermittent fasting has a wonderful community to share with. I love it. Every time I turn around, I'm talking to somebody about fasting. Yes, I'm the fasting lady, not the fast lady, Dan. And I love to talk to people about, yes, I'm doing the fasting now. How are you doing? How's your weight going? What about this? What about that? And then, like I said, it's a huge community. And I love that, like I said, I went to the card making thing and we didn't have food. And it just really starts to roll with everybody. And I feel like we're like a little band of people that are supporting one another, and we talk to each other about things, and it's a wonderful community. And use it. Like I said, text me, talk to me, talk to those around you, be encouraging. Talk when you fall. Do any of that thing because we love to talk to each other. And then intermittent fasting is truly a mindset. Like I said, you don't really ever lose weight or healthy if you don't have your mind behind it. And God wants us to fly like wings with eagles. He wants us to run and not be weary. He wants us to walk and not faint. He wants us to have a wonderful mind. Intermittent fasting gives you the freedom to enjoy your life again. Doesn't that feel good? Yes, to enjoy your life again. Well, that is the end of my 5-part seminar. Can you believe it? I finished with that. Now, I want to let you know that I'm hoping to be able to share this at other churches. I'm hoping to do this at camp meeting. If you know of anybody who's looking for this information, let them know about me. I can fit it into a weekend. I can come all weeks like I'm doing now. I can just talk to them personally. I could do a little group like this. I don't know what the Lord has, but I'm hoping to be able to share this with so many different people, and it's been an exciting time. But now this is what's very exciting for me because I have Dwayne. He's going to come up and he's going to be I see he's teasing me. He's going to be my final interview. It was so cute because I asked Lauren first. I texted her and I said, "Do you think that you would be my interview?" And she says, "Oh no, I get too nervous." And she goes, "I think Dwayne will be too nervous too." And then she texts me later. She goes, "Well, I'm bad because Dwayne said he'll do it." And I said, "Perfect." So now,
and then I tried to change my mind.
Yeah, and he can't change his mind. No. And then the funny thing is, I texted him and I said, "Do you want me to give you a list of the questions or anything?" Because with Maxine and Diane, I know you, so it was easy to ask. And he said, "Oh no, just throw it at me." And I said, "Well, okay." So Dwayne, how do we know each other? Do we know each other?
Not really.
Yeah, not really. It was the cutest thing because our sons are best friends. Now I've had Aaron over at my house, I don't know how many times, and I just love Aaron. And so when I heard that Aaron's dad's coming to your seminar, and I thought, he is? And I was so excited. And like I said, I never met you. So what got you coming to the seminar?
One evening, we were talking about intermittent fasting at home. And everybody knows when you talk at home, your phone picks it up. And within 30 minutes, I had multiple places that, oh, intermittent fasting, try this. So I went and I filled out the little form and got the fasting thing back. And of course, they want you to send them money. And I was looking at the one-day program, and I was like, this is too difficult. I don't want to do this. Because that's the thing with diets for me. If I got to think about it, I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I mentioned it to my son, and he perks up and goes, well, James's mom does this, and she's going to have a seminar on Tuesday. Let's go. And here I am.
So do you think God is at work here in this? I mean, really, so not only did the phone hear that you were looking at intermittent fasting, I think so did God, because what are the odds? I had just was going to be starting this. So I asked him, too, if I could ask you these things. So what are some of your health issues? What were some of the things that you wanted to do with the intermittent fasting?
I'm a chubby old guy, so I have all the typical things. My A1C was high. My heart's doing weird things, cholesterol's high, and I weigh too much. So I got blood pressure medicine, I got cholesterol medicine. I'm on Ozempic to get my A1C down, which it did. But my goal is to get off all that stuff. And everything I've read, I read the book, bought the book and read the book. This should do it. I figure within a year, I won't be taking meds anymore. And that's a goal for me, besides losing the weight.
That's a wonderful goal. Now tell me, why is that one of your goals, though? He's like me. We have grandchildren now, don't we?
Well, yeah, I have two relatively new grandchildren. One's a year and a half or 14 months, and one is a week.
Oh, well, congratulations on the week. I didn't know about that one.
So I want to be able to play with them. I want to be able to run around with them. I have a little boy and a little girl. Little boy, I want to take motorcycle riding. I want to go to football games. I want to do all this stuff that I have a hard time doing now because I weigh so much. That's the goal.
Perfect. So when you came to the first seminar, did you think you could do it? Did it seem too hard?
No, I know I could do it. One of the things I don't like about diets is thinking about what I have to do. With Weight Watchers, got to keep track of points. No carbs, low carbs, just all the different decisions I had to make. When Cathy said, clean fast, you can drink tea, water, or coffee. Well, I hate coffee, water, I drink a ton of tea. I probably drink a gallon of tea a day. Then I can eat what I want during my window. I like that. I don't have to think about, can I eat this? Can I not eat this? The problem for me was I'm a grazer. I would sit at my chair. I'm retired, so I sit in my chair a lot, and I would just graze all day. So, whatever, peanuts, Triscuit, whatever. I would just graze. Now I eat in my window. I don't eat any more in my window. I eat less. I'm not hungry. It's just simple. Tea from 5 to 11, and I eat from 11 to 5. Simple.
I was going to ask you what your window was. So 11 to 5 seems to be working for you then?
Well, my window changes.
Okay.
When my wife is working, she works 4 days a week. Her window is different than my window. So we have found ourselves adjusting that window. So we may go a little bit longer, but then on the other side, I wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
I am going to try next month. I'm going to try a couple 24-hour fast.
You're going to try?
I'm going to try it.
Okay.
See what happens. I've given myself till September next year to hit my goal weight. And I don't have any doubt I'll hit it.
That's so wonderful. Now, after the 28 days, have you noticed any changes, or are you really just kind of getting used to the fat burning?
For me, the visceral fat is the most important thing.
Yes.
I'm a big guy, and I've always been a big guy. My doctor's always been concerned with my weight. He always tells me to diet, and I can't do it because, again, I have to think about it. So that's where I want to do. I want to get rid of the visceral fat. I'm a scale hound. I get on the scale every morning. Yeah. And if I get on the scale and I'm 2 pounds over what I was the day before, then I've really cut back on what I've eaten during my window. I lost 27 pounds with the Ozempic. Now I'm at the point where I'm going to have to lose the hard weight, which the fasting is doing. And since we started 35 days ago, whatever it is,
35 days.
I've lost about 4.5 pounds.
Oh, wonderful.
Which I think is huge.
Yes.
My goal is 275 pounds. If I get to that, I know I'll feel better. My feet won't hurt. I can exercise, because now it's just hard for me to exercise because I'm carrying so much weight. I hit that goal weight and start maintaining, or even go lower. I mean, if I got down to 250, I would be ecstatic. But my goal is that. See what happens.
And do you think, has it been easier than you thought it would be?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, part of it is the ozemic, and I understand that because it suppresses your appetite. But my window opens up at 11 or 10, depending on where our window's at. But like this morning, I didn't eat till 10:45. I'm not that hungry, so it's not that hard.
Right. And do you feel kind of in control then?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's good. Are you starting to share it with other people?
My sister's on it.
Yes, I was going to say.
I sent her the videos that you sent to me.
Yes.
She's been on it for about 2 weeks. Her husband, who's not overweight at all, he's doing it just to feel better.
Good.
My brother, who lives in Texas, we've talked about it a couple of times. I don't know if he's doing it, but it's something we've talked about.
Yeah. So
and Lauren's doing it too.
Well, yes. No, I know Lauren's doing it. Hello, Lauren. So, so we're doing like that ripple effect, aren't we? We're starting to share, and pretty soon it's going into Texas and to other people. And so, you see yourself keeping doing this? Then?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No problems at all.
Well, that was the thing with everybody says it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And so my lifestyle says I'm going to eat whenever I want, whatever I want,
yeah,
how much I want, because the diets were too hard to think about.
Right.
And that's where this, for me, is the easy part is I don't have to think about it. I know I eat between 11 and 5. I eat what I want. And that was the big thing when we first started. The first week I ate everything, and I ate a lot of it.
Yeah.
And the second week, I didn't eat anything, and then I started feeling weird. The third week, I kind of got a happy medium, and I've kind of worked my way into it.
Wonderful. Okay, I think I got my. Tell me what you want everyone to know. Can you leave them with one thing that you're thinking you're gonna?
It's easy. It's a lifestyle, and anybody can do it. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can.
Perfect. So if I give my seminar in another year or so, and I'm at a different church, I can have you come be my testimony again. Yes.
I'll be a shadow of the man I am now.
Yes. Isn't that? Yeah. No. Isn't that wonderful? Yay. Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. I so appreciate it. Isn't that wonderful? I think the best part of all these seminars has been the testimonies because, like I said, it's not just working for me. It's working for so many people. And like I said, I've been watching God bringing different people in and talking to different people. And I'm so excited for you. I just, like I said, and everything that we talk about is all what he talked about. And who knew that this could be so easy? Now, I don't know if anybody else has questions, the question and answer time. Like I said, last time we didn't have it. We've struggled with the question and answer. Anybody have anything? Carlin? No? Yeah. No? Everything's okay? Okay, Dwayne? Okay, yes. We've got to see if we can get the answers and the questions at the same time.
You talked about maintaining.
Okay.
What is maintaining?
Well, for me, I've been maintaining the weight that I'm at. And so I'm a scale hound like you, so I am going to try to stay within this certain area. For some people, it's fitting into their clothes that they want to fit into. For you, it might be being at 275, or it might be going down from there. So,
do you change your window or when you're in the maintaining period? Do you change your window? Do you change what you eat? Do you change?
No, I do it exactly the same way. So, like I said, when I had that really bad cheat day on Wednesday, then I tightened my window up because no cheat day. See, yeah, no cheat day. Yeah, because no, really, your diet brain really does come back much. I've had the pizzas. I know that when I get on the scales tomorrow, it's probably going to be high. So I'm already planning on doing a 24-hour fast probably until I eat out with Ashley tomorrow. So I'm just adjusting it. So maintenance is exactly like losing the weight. It's just that I eat a little bit more well, no, not actually. I finally have just gotten to the weight where I'm not going to be losing anymore, but I don't want to gain it back. So maintenance is tricky. Yeah. And then, like I said, that's always been my problem, is that I just end up gaining it back. And I don't want to do that this time. This time we're going to maintain this. And so for me, being right around that one weight is where my maintenance is going to be. For some other people, it's getting into those pants or that kind of thing. But I'm like you, I'm a scale hound. I need the extra accountability.
Well, I'll speak from the not scale hound.
Yeah, yes, yes.
I didn't even own a scale for a long time. So I go by like the inches. I've been more thrilled with how many inches and how many sizes I've dropped and the clothes I'm fitting into and than the weight.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes the scale goes up and down. I do have a scale now, and sometimes I get on and I'm thinking, how did it go 3 pounds in one day? You know, and but I mean, you do have a lot of water mass, and you have there's a lot that goes into it just because you can think you ate too much, and it might not have anything to do with it. But right. I think from a non-weight standard, you have a lot of health things that would monitor to make you feel like you're doing better and maintaining. That's what I think from my perspective I'm looking at more than the scale.
Yes. Well, and that's what the beauty of, like I said, the intermittent fasting, at least to me, is that we have all those different ways. When somebody walks up to Maxine and says, Maxine, you look like you've lost weight. Well, for her, it's that she can wear the pants that she didn't use. She doesn't have to buy a whole new wardrobe. So that's been helping her. And like I said, I'm happy to be thinner, but my blood pressure is what really makes me happy, because I just really could never have it. Even on the highest medication, could not keep it under control. So that's my biggest victory, I think. And then, like I said, I know with Diane, and then every time I see Diane on Facebook, her face looks slimmer and she looks brighter. You know what I mean? So you can start seeing complexions too. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're all always just
every day and say thank you for telling me.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, and that's how you feel. You just feel like you're sharing something. I was telling somebody, I feel like I have the fountain of youth. You know, I mean, Ponce de Leon was looking for the fountain of youth, and we found it. And so you just feel, I feel crazy. Like every time we see something on TV, Dan goes, any kind of problem, he goes, I bet you want to fix it with fasting, don't you? And I'm like, you bet. I'll tell this person about fasting because I think it could fix it. And people will say, well, this sister of mine has all these painful things, and her body hurts all the time, and I think fasting could fix it. It can't hurt. And so I get so excited for, all of us are just really, most of us here are all living, walking examples of even what 35 days can do for us, and that's huge. So anybody else? Okay. Oh, yes, you do, because my mother will tell me that she couldn't hear your statement because she's watching it online. Yay for my mother. She's been good at this.
I had lunch, I guess, with my aunt today, and I had mentioned it to her when I started coming here. And she was asking me questions the first day, asking me, and today she asked me again, but last night I fell off the wagon, so I admitted that I fell off the wagon. And I happen to have 2 books, so she's willing to get started, and I'm going to give her my other book. And so we're kind of going to be doing it together.
Wonderful. That's the best thing, I think, when it talked about the fasting community, because then you can text people and see how things are going, and I'll be texting you too. And I have new friends now, and we have something that we have in common, because we've all struggled with this, and then we're all finding victory in this too. And so that makes us all just feel so much happier about everything. So like I said, and then it's just like that ripple effect. Who knows how far it can go just by sharing here, and then somebody else shares, and the next thing you know, so many lives have been changed. So anybody else? Yes, my friend Debbie.
So is there anybody who can't do it? Like if you are hypoglycemic, or, you know what I mean, like that kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Like you have to have, like my husband has to have protein, like the first thing. Have you heard anything about people who can't?
So like my mother can't. My mom has, she has stomach issues, and sometimes she can eat and sometimes she can't, and trying to stay within a window is very hard for her. And so, yes, there are people who can't do it. And then there are some people that are like type 1 diabetics, and they're not going to be able to do it. They're going to have to keep a certain way. sometimes with the husbands on those kind of things, I'm not sure. Those were things that he'd have to ask his doctor about and see. But I think a lot of times, even if you started doing like a 12-hour fast, if it's within those windows, and then pretty soon you extend it, and I just always think, but then I'm not a doctor. That's my problem too. I just always think that getting some of that insulin out of our bodies and not eating so often could help some of these other things that we have problems with. But it's not necessarily for everybody. So that's the thing too. I always just think should be for everybody. And obviously there's things that aren't for everybody. Like I said, my mom can't do it. We don't let her do it because she's going to get sick and worn out, and that's okay. And then some of the other with the hypoglycemic things, I'm not sure. So he'll have to go to his doctor. But then so what I always think happens though on some of these things is they start seeing good results with you, and then they start trying it without even letting you know that they try it. You know what I mean? So
I have another question. You talk about doing like a 24-hour fast. So you say, okay, I'm going to do this. When do you start?
On the fast?
Yeah, if you were going to do a 24-hour fast.
Yeah, well, today I stopped eating at 4:30 because I was driving here and I knew I wasn't going to, I was talking, so that wasn't going to have any food. And then I'm going to probably have dinner with my daughter-in-law tomorrow at 5:30 because it's Wednesday and I'm here in town. So I'm probably starting now. And so 4:30 to 5:30, we'll have a 25-hour fast. Now, I still might take some soup to work just in case that I don't feel like doing it, but sometimes that's how I do it. Sometimes I like to surprise myself. Because if I plan it, then I get too scared, and I just think it sounds so hard, and it's so long, and I don't know if I want to do it. And so sometimes I just will go, well, I'm past 1, and I've got kind of a weird day tomorrow, and I've got to run some errands, and then I think, I can go maybe 1 or 2 more hours, and then I did it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then, you did the 40-hour fast with me. I mean, she was so cute because she's, I was a little manipulative. I wanted to get her started. And so we had our daughters that we were praying for our daughters. And I said, Debbie, why don't we do a 40-hour fast for our daughters? I mean, I just threw that out, a 40-hour fast.
I had no idea how long 40 hours
was.
was.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, let's do it. And then she got her sister involved. And then I thought on the fast I was going to have a Tuesday where I was working. And that day the doctor was sick. And so I was home with the kids and I was hungry, and but we fasted and prayed for our girls, and so we kind of combined that. So and she just jumped right in. And she didn't know about the clean fast or anything, but then she started realizing that she could do longer than you would think. So like I said, I sometimes I don't like to think about doing it, and I just spring it on me. And then sometimes it doesn't work. I might tomorrow be hungry, and so then I'll just have my soup and go with it. But I'm just thinking that I probably can do that until tomorrow. And then it's 24 hours, but I still ate today and I will eat tomorrow. Does that make sense? So I work the 24 hours into still getting to eat each day. So yes. And then a lot of it's sleeping. So great. Yeah. Anybody can do it. Yeah, we love the sleeping part.
I found that doing my fast on Sabbath is the best. So I'll quit eating on Friday afternoon around 2, 3 o'clock, and then I'll fast until about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's perfect because I stay awake in church. I don't get sleepy.
Yeah, no, I've actually found that too. I find that it's very easy for me to fast until after the church service. I don't know, this like I'm in tune and I'm worshiping and praying. Now, when church service is over, Dan looks at me and I was like, no, we're ready to go. I'm ready to eat. And so that's good too. But you're going to find out which times work better for you and then just kind of go with that. So, all right. Well, we did it. We did our 5 session series. Like I said, you helped me live my dream. Thank you so much for that. And let's go ahead and close with a word of prayer. Lord, we love you and we just thank you so much. And I just know this is from you. I know that you want us healthy and that you are spreading the word through all of us. Lord, we just thank you that you don't just send angels down, that you use each one of us as vessels to share with other people. And more than anything, you want us to be healthy. As we leave today, we leave as a little army of people who want to be healthy, and we want to share it with all our friends and neighbors. And we just pray, Lord, that the world that we live in will be a little bit different because we've been obedient to you, and we've been working on this fasting. Thank you so much for helping my dream to come true, Lord. And we just pray for a blessing in your name. Amen. Thank you so much.